My welcoming word is titled On Spiritual Partnership and Institutional Policies. It has been some time since our last in-person meeting, you remember, maybe November 2023, during which the region and the world went through many transformations and crises, some of which reshaped entire regions of great strategic importance in global politics and economics. During that period, Lebanon, Palestine, and other Middle Eastern and Arab countries suffered disasters and calamities that deeply affected them and produced changes that were almost structural. In the midst of these events, institutions that have taken it upon themselves to heal people's wounds and share their burdens continued to carry out their duty as much as possible within the limits of their available resources under economic conditions that cannot be described as favorable for the non-industrialized world already burdened with countless crises. These institutions work with the mindset of the stone that upholds the jar. It's an Arabic saying, a Lebanese saying. بحصة اللي بتسند الخابية. Or the widow's penny, فلس الأرملة. Guided by the principle, do not give me a fish, but teach me how to fish. That is by relying on human capital and the skills that come from developing and refining it, given the scarcity of material resources for reasons known to all. The phrase, the adage, building people before stone, we used to put it in the 80s, the soul and the stone, building the soul and the stone, is not realistic in our time because building human capacities, or knowledge becomes wasteful if there is no stone, quote unquote, i.e., material resources that support those capacities and increase their productivity. Building people must go hand in hand with building material foundations in order to raise productive efficiency and move society from poverty to a level of sufficiency as a prelude to capital accumulation that leads to real growth and their going out gradually from misery, along with education, of course. Here lies the core of international support, the assistance provided by countries with industrial surpluses to those with economic deficits caused by weak, outdated sociocultural structures suited only to a bygone era. This relationship was long called that of donor and recipient, meaning that one grants material resources to another in need of to fund the projects that might improve living conditions. Initially, this relationship was almost purely material, as financially surplus countries sought out those in need, giving for economic reasons, such as limiting the inflow of migrant workers, clandestine migrant workers mainly, political reasons influencing the policies of weaker states, or religious reasons, solidarity and applying the teachings of faith. This was our case until not long ago. But according to Talcott Parsons' paradigm, that the economic being produces the social being, who then transcends him, the culture of donor-recipient relations transformed into one of partnership, where the recipient also has a say in outcomes. Since the 1980s, the culture of partnership emerged, shaping all relationships, even influencing the names of institutions and departments. I was at MECC at that time when the logic of the sharing resources started by WCC, it was ECLOF and others, and then gradually to other institutions. And this is a very good move. I mean, this is a humble move from the side of the West. And it carries till now the decolonization logic. This was a radical shift in relations between North and South. And no one can deny the role of the church, Christian values, and church institutions in this cultural change in Western thinking and perspectives. In this context, I wish to affirm as someone active in the ecumenical movement since 1981, that the Church and the ecumenical bodies inspired playing a decisive role in these cultural shifts in the West, shaping how peoples view various issues and thorny questions on regional and international stages. What concerns us today is the shift in financial support policies adopted by institutions and industrial surplus societies, which can be summarized as follows: the decline in church financial support due to waning public commitment to the church and its activities. Somewhere people are selling churches, has led many institutions in order to sustain their mission to seek funding outside the community of believers, especially from large corporations working under the banner of corporate social responsibility, or from state development organizations or agencies in line with foreign policy. This explains the decline in free, unrestricted support from such institutions, replaced by conditional aid, the restricted one, tied to the policies of governments or corporations engaged in public affairs. The decline of unrestricted support negatively affects the growth of recipient institutions, preventing them from conducting research development schemes because of donor restrictions and lack of local support. We are quite aware of that, and we are trying to remedy to that. A gap has thus arisen between donor institutions, officials, or leaders, many of whom are highly sympathetic to recipient institutions, and we feel it with our discussions with every one of you, and the operational policies and standards of their organizations, or the back donor, bien entendu. I am certain there are deep and advanced debates on this issue. In this reality, donor institutions staff, in coordination with the recipient institution staff, must align their efforts and goals to serve the afflicted, the needy, the burdened, and the exhausted, for whom honest and capable people strive to secure better days. لتكن لهم أيام أفضل. Bridging the gap between what is spiritual and what is institutional is not easy, as there are always differences between spiritual, personal, or moral considerations on one hand, and institutional considerations or policies on the other hand. Thus, institutions' policies do not always reflect the will of the individuals working in or leading them. In closing, I must express my joy at welcoming true partners in every sense of the word, where spiritual partnership, mutual love, and shared values, shaped through decades of maturation, osmosis, mutual maturation, carry the same weight as material partnership through project funding or financial support in general. And maybe this is the first time I ever mentioned anything related to finances in my 5 years of mandate so far. I hope this meeting allows us to build stronger relationships and a closer shared vision in service of those waiting for us to extend our hand and accompany them on their path towards a better life, adorned with the dignity that defines human existence. Dignity is among the most important commandments of the Savior, embodied in all he said and did, and we must be instrument for its preservation. May the Lord bless us all, bless you all in your ministry, so that humankind may have a better life. Thank you.